Well, hello, everyone. Spirit is perfect all the time. And this is my talk title. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm so loving this. No, I was going to get the actual keypad. Okay. Give me a second, people. But anyway, that song, I've been afraid of changes. Those are your own changes. That's your own life. Most people think that song you're singing about somebody else. But what if, and Doctor, I'm going to, you know what, from now on you are Doctor. I don't care what they say. Dr. Dale and I used to do a thing a few years back called Rev It Up on Wednesdays, and where we would take today's songs that you hear top 40 in the 70s, especially our genre, and turn those lyrics into metaphysical interpretations of life. And that song right there is a prime example of that. Now, let me see if this will work up here. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. I am going to need you back there, please. It's oh man, I'm telling you what, here, let me get up here. It's so perfect. My talk title is, well, hell, I'm just going to say it. Am I good enough? Am I good enough? How many times have you asked yourself that one question? And I'm going to see if Dale's got it. Yeah. We're on fire. All right. And my infamous little phrase, buckle up, buttercup. So, am I good enough? It's been a very deep question my entire life. And I'm sure that's been a very deep question for yourselves. What am I here for? Next slide, please. What the heck? Oh, this is going to be awesome. Oh, you know what? You know what? I've got it. You learn something new every day, people. As much as I do around this place and as much technology as I know, there's a power button on this little tiny remote that I never even knew was there. I tell you, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Spirit is perfect all the time. Even with adversity in front of you, if you can laugh at yourself, nobody can laugh at you. Why do I even need to ask that question? Why do you? Of course you're good enough. You're God ordained. You're spirit in action. There's that higher resonance within yourself that just knows everything. It's just this experience that we're just living through. The people you compare yourself to are comparing themselves to other people as well. Isn't that funny? Here we are spending our whole lives, and reverend or not, let's put this aside. I'm a reverend? Okay, great. Boom, put that aside. This is still William here we're talking about, people. And believe me, my wife will be the first one to tell you she's dealing with a William. But I'm always thinking, am I good enough about this person, about that life, and about that experience? But you know what? Everyone's doing the same thing. And when you come to realize that about people, we can drop that baggage down and just start living your life upon what you want to experience, regardless of what other people are thinking about you. We're teaching a class. What they think about you is none of your business. That should be the golden rule right there. Not do unto others as others do unto you, but just what they think about me is none of my business. Now you have the freedom to live your life how you want to, because each and every one of us has a gift. Some of us may have already found that gift, and some of us are still searching. But that's okay. That's part of the journey. The adventure is this, but before I get to this word, when I do my talks, and when I'm sitting in a chair and people talk in the tense of, you are this or you are that, or they use the I am. I like to use the I. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking in the context is when you're reading the lyrics or the message up on the board, when you say, I am this, I am that, you are internally owning it. And so I like to use the I instead of the you in talks. I don't know if that's correct or not. I've never been to, what's that, Toastmasters or whatever, but who cares? But, this is my life and I'm living it. So I'm coming from the context, thank you. I'm coming from the context most of these times in the I, because when I'm sitting in that chair listening to stuff, it resonates more with me when I hear the I and I'm reading it because I'm internalizing it, as opposed to having to convert it from the you, meaning me. Does that make sense? Yes. This is how my mind works. Believe me, we're going down the rabbit hole, and that's the adventure. The adventure. Some people call it a disadvantage, and I don't buy that. I've been on this planet for 50 plus years, and so what? But what I found is what people will call a disadvantage, or what you may yourself call a disadvantage, some ailment or some mental process that's not like what you think others are doing. I've owned what my mind and how my mind thinks and works. And I found this. I see beauty where other people just pass on by and don't even notice it. And because of that, I'm able to internalize it and to own it and see it in myself. And so by having this condition, which is a blessing, I'm able to feel more passionate about what I do. And over the past month and a half, I've been feeling it more, being a reverend. But honestly, each and every one of you are a reverend. How many times have you counseled someone? Not necessarily your own child, but friends, colleagues. Every time you've counseled someone, you've been a reverend. You've been a mentor. So just because I have the REV instead of the in front of the William doesn't make me any more important than you are. And that's the beauty and the responsibility that I have as a reverend. I am not above you. I am with you. Each and every one of you are my teachers. You are my inspiration. And I hope that you can see that in yourself, to where everyone you come across is a teacher, is a mentor, who can influence your life to see things differently. There's more right with me than wrong with me. That's a great little line. I tell you what, that is absolutely true. Regardless of what I think is wrong with myself, or what others may tell me is wrong with me, that's fine, because I know that there's more good and more wealth in me than I could possibly ever dive into. There is more wealth and knowledge and passion and love in each and every one of you than you've even tapped into, regardless of your age. You have that wealth, that depth and breadth of energy within you. Because, like we say here, you are the Almighty, the All-Knowing, the All-Powerful, condensed into this experience, which to you and I may seem like 100 years, but to the universe, it's but a blip. Let's face it, our lives is but a blip on a map. But that's okay. It's still an experience, it's still a ride, and we're here to have fun, and we're here to share. That's important. Don't believe everything you think. That's a good one. Because let me tell you what, I think a lot. I may not say too much, but some people say I talk too much. But I'm always thinking. My mind is always racing. That monkey mind is going all the time. But you don't believe everything you think. It's the belief that holds the power. Allow those fleeting thoughts just go by. Don't grasp onto them. Don't grab at them. Don't hold them. But the ones that resonate with you, and only you can answer that, those thoughts that resonate, that passion within inside you, those are what you grab onto. Those are how you expand and grow and become more of yourself. And by doing that, you're able to give more to others. We say changing lives one heart at a time. The first heart you have to change is yourself. And that's where the work is. Because all the rest of it's easy. Once you can find the love and passion about yourself, regardless of what disadvantages you may think you have, I'm here to tell you that that disadvantage, I bet you, is an advantage that someone else wishes they had. So hold on to those quirks, let's just call them. Those quirks are what allow you to be unique. Hold on to that. Hold on to that passion. Cultivate it. Don't keep it aside and hidden. Use it, just like I am. You think I'd ever be up here? Kid me? Not in a million years, but here I am because I followed the passion and I didn't allow what supposedly is a disadvantage to hold me back because I said, screw it, I'm doing it. There you go, that's the name of a book. His conscious mind is his understanding of God. His subjective mind is his use of universal creative medium, and his body is one with the body of reality. That's the Trinity right there, people. I was at the beach yesterday with my niece and nephew and grandniece and nephew, and he was asking me about this philosophy and what do you think about the Trinity? Because he was coming from a Catholicism and, Jehovah's Witness, and he told me a few things about that, but we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But he was talking about the Trinity, and we don't really necessarily have the Trinity like other philosophies has, but yes, we do, because right there behind me is the Trinity. His consciousness is understanding your divine self, that spiritual essence in the back of that mind of yours, not the body, not the physical realm, but that mind of yours that no one gets a chance to see unless you express. That is the divine power. That is your divinity right there. His subjective mind, his use of universal creative medium. How you use this stuff. When we say that we don't have miracles, we have demonstrations, it's true. We don't call them miracles because they are commonplace. We call them demonstrations because it is your mind imprinting upon spirit what you want to express. And I don't think there's anyone in this room that can raise their hand and say, I've never experienced something that I haven't thought about. It may not happen all the time, but I bet you it has happened. I love this philosophy. And the idea of this, how it works and making my mind work and honestly making me accountable. And that's the thing. Each and every one of us are accountable for our thoughts. Your life right now can change in an instant. It only takes you to convince yourself to do that. Self-realization. Realizing that you are the infinitesimal spirit acting as William, acting as yourself. When you realize that you have that potential, cultivate that. Take time. It's not going to happen overnight. We've been doing this for 10, 15 plus, and some of us, well, screw that. We've been doing it our whole life. Buying into what we've been telling ourselves about ourselves based upon a false philosophy that we were told by someone who we thought had authority, whether it be a family member, whether it be a colleague, whether it be an old boss, or whether it was your best friend. How many times have we had a best friend say something about us and we bought into that? It's time to change your mind, because it's time to change your life. No law can be sacred to me but that of my own nature. Stop right there. No law. The only law there is your mind, your consciousness, your reality of what you want to experience. That is the only true law there is. Regardless of what parents, friends, colleagues say, your mind is what creates your reality. Good, bad are names very readily transferable to that or this. Meaning, what's the truth for myself? What's the truth for Dale may not necessarily be my truth. So don't buy into someone else's truth if it doesn't align with your own. There is a divine nature in each and every one of us. There is a divine nature in you. And it's our jobs as practitioners and as reverends, it's our job as this center to awaken you to that divine power that you have inside of you, to teach you how to cultivate and to use that to create that life that you want. It doesn't necessarily mean $1 million in the bank, because I can tell you this, that's not my dream. I don't want the taxes. The only right is what is after my own constitution. The only wrong is what is against it. Right there. When you can live by your beliefs that are uplifting, that are, what's the word? Yes, uplifting, building, that creative. Those are thoughts that are divine, and those are the laws and the actions that you need to focus on. Because when you can live by this sentence right here, Emerson's Essays, page 36, paragraph 1. Emerson is a hard man to read, but I love it because it's the way my mind works. It just goes off on tangents, and I love it. But if you can get past that and just take your time, he is a great person to find out the behind the stories of this thing called your life. You need to love the most when you feel you deserve it the least. How many times have you thought about that? Probably not. But by loving yourself, even when you're down in the dumps, you are aligning yourself with spirit, that natural essence within you. And from that vantage point, and from that awareness of yourself, opportunities will fall into your path to get you out of that place. It's not an easy path, but more importantly, it's not really a hard path. It's a path that takes dedication. So don't allow those fleeting thoughts that come in and out of your mind all day long, because I know that you must have them, because if I'm having them, I'm sure you are. But then again, that's my reality. It may not be yours, but I'm just talking from my reality, and hopefully it's resonating with you, that you can do this thing called life and be more of who you thought you could be. Monday's class with Dr. Dale, the idea of Pollyanna came up, and that was my thesis, and that was my talk. And most people think that Pollyanna is walking around going, oh, everything's great. That's a lie. That is a falsehood. That is a philosophy that's been touted around for 100+ years. It is not that. What Pollyanna is this, is seeing the beauty in every single situation. There's something to be grateful for in every single situation, no matter how dire your life may have been or is. There is beauty there. There is something to be grateful for. Because when you come from that space of gratitude, of wherever you are, it keeps you in alignment with spirit. And the natural state of spirit is to expand and become and express more of itself. So by becoming aligned with that power, you are naturally going to expand your consciousness and your good and the joy of life. That is what Pollyanna is about, and I will always talk about it in that tense and always talk about Pollyanna because that's exactly what this philosophy is seeing the good and being grateful for wherever you are, because in that gratitude becomes answers for problems. Because you're not focused on where you are, you're focused on something better, a higher vibration, a higher reality. And spirit will build upon that. And that life that you want to experience or desire is always coming to you. Now, going off on a tangent, as I just thought that, talking about my little mind going, just because today this XYZ is what I want to experience or what you want to experience, as you are on that path to go towards that, something else might catch your eye and you might go off on a tangent. Allow life to lead you where it does. Be inquisitive. Be curious. That's what this life is about. To find out the question, why? It used to drive me crazy when my kids asked me, why, Daddy? Because I said, why, Daddy? And here I am, 57, going, why? It's funny how life just spins, and it just keeps on going. Again, seeing the commonality in all life. Love. Oh. Good, she's not here. The love of my life found my Achilles heels, and it starts with, I can't. Because when she wants me to do something, I go, oh, I can't do that. She found out that I can't really means I don't want to. I can't fix that. I can't put that up there. It's too tall. And then she comes up and she doubled down on me. Now she goes, oh, I need this something done, but I'm going to hire this guy because, you can't do that. And so I'm like, watch me. Tell me I can't do something, and I will prove you wrong every time. I just love the game of life, especially. She keeps me on my toes, and I'm sure I keep her on hers, but it's so funny, the I can't. How many times have you used that word in your life? Not with something physical, or not always something physical, but mental. There's been times, especially going through this teaching and all this class and homeworks and reading and stuff, and believe me, reading is not my forte, but I get through it. But I found a way to get through something that is otherwise a little bit more difficult for me. And for those of you, here's a trick. For those of you who don't enjoy reading, this is what I did, and this is just a little side note. What I found helps me, because I'm very analytical and I put things together and I blow things apart and I can see all the parts and I figure out, when I put something together, I got to see the ending first and work backwards. I don't start at slide 1. I go to slide 13 and see what it looks like and work my way backwards, and in my mind I can work it out. And now I've lost exactly where the hell I was going, but that's okay. I love it. But the idea of I can't is an excuse for you to be involved with your own life. When you say, I can't, you've cut off spirit to show you opportunities on how to get around that dam. Just like the salmon swimming up the stream, and they created that side channel so that they could keep on going, even though there's a dam there. They figured out that, I can go this way and get around the dam. By using this as an excuse, as a crutch, let's face it, where you are right now, you're going to stay. And for however many years, months, whatever you want to use these two words, you're going to be right there. But when you can leave that behind you and say, I betcha, I'll show you I can't. And then you start working towards what it is you want to experience. So, am I good enough? The thing about it is, my little mind worked on me again, and what I meant to say was this: I am good enough. And so are each and every one of you. Thank you for your time. I love you all.